Life is full of challenges, and at times we all find ourselves in difficult situations that test our patience and self-control. Whether it's dealing with a frustrating person, facing unexpected setbacks, or enduring hardships that shake us to our core, the way we respond can make all the difference. It is easy to react with frustration, anger, or anxiety when things don't go as planned. But instead of letting emotions take over, one of the most effective ways to keep your cool is by shifting your perspective to faith and positivity. When we change the way we see a situation, we change the way we experience it. Often, we allow stress and negativity to cloud our judgment, making problems seem bigger than they really are. However, if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, we may realize that every difficulty carries a lesson, an opportunity for growth, or even a hidden blessing. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this teaching me? A shift in perspective can turn frustration into understanding and chaos into clarity. Faith plays a crucial role in this process. As believers, we know that nothing happens without purpose. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to trust God more, to rely on His wisdom rather than our own, and to grow spiritually. When we understand that God is in control, we don't have to carry the burden of every situation on our own shoulders. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and lean not on our own understanding. When we do this, we release the pressure of trying to figure everything out and instead rest in the assurance that God has a plan, even when we don't see it right away. But trusting in God doesn't mean we sit back and do nothing. It means we choose to respond with faith instead of fear. It means replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations rooted in truth. Instead of thinking, I can't handle this, remind yourself, with God's strength, I can overcome this. Instead of believing this situation is hopeless, declare all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. Speaking words of faith and positivity not only strengthens our own mindset, but also influences those around us. Our attitude can either bring light into a dark situation or add fuel to the fire of negativity. Difficult situations often come with difficult people. And it is in these moments that we need the most patience. When someone frustrates or offends us, the natural response is to react defensively or lash out. However, the Bible teaches us in Proverbs 15:01 that a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Responding with kindness, even when it is undeserved, can diffuse tension and shift the atmosphere. It doesn't mean we allow others to mistreat us, but it does mean we choose wisdom over impulse. Sometimes simply pausing before speaking can prevent a situation from escalating. Taking a moment to breathe, pray, or even walk away can help us respond with grace rather than regret. Perspective is also about what we choose to focus on. When we dwell on problems, they seem to grow larger. But when we focus on solutions, opportunities begin to appear. Gratitude is a powerful tool in shifting our perspective. Even in the midst of a difficult situation, there is always something to be thankful for. Maybe the challenge is teaching us patience, strengthening our character, or bringing us closer to God. By choosing to see the good, we take control of our mindset rather than allowing negativity to control us. Another key to maintaining perspective is remembering past victories. Think about times when you faced struggles before and overcame them. Didn't God bring you through? Didn't you grow stronger because of it? If He was faithful then, He will be faithful now. Reminding ourselves of past breakthroughs helps us face present difficulties with confidence. Ultimately, keeping your cool in difficult situations is not about denying emotions, but about managing them wisely. It's about seeing every challenge through the lens of faith and trusting that God is working behind the scenes. With the right perspective, what once seemed overwhelming can become an opportunity for growth, and what once felt like a setback can turn into a setup for something greater. So the next time you find yourself in a frustrating or challenging situation, take a deep breath, shift your focus, and remind yourself that with faith and positivity, you have the power to rise above. Difficult situations often bring out strong emotions. When faced with challenges, whether it's dealing with a frustrating person, an unexpected setback, or a stressful environment, it is natural to feel angry, anxious, or overwhelmed. However, allowing emotions to take control can often make things worse. The key to keeping your cool is learning to control your emotions before they control you. Instead of reacting impulsively, taking a step back and responding with calmness can completely change the outcome of a situation. Emotions are powerful, and if not managed properly, they can cloud our judgment and lead us to say or do things we later regret. Have you ever been in a situation where frustration got the best of you and you reacted in a way that only made matters worse? Maybe you said something in anger that you wish you could take back, or you made a hasty decision that led to unnecessary consequences. That is why self-control is so important. The ability to pause, reflect, and choose a wise response is a skill that can save relationships, protect your peace, and help you navigate life's challenges with grace. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to control emotions in the heat of the moment is to take a deep breath. When emotions start to rise, the body reacts, heart rate increases, muscles tense up, and thoughts start racing. By pausing and taking a slow, deep breath, you send a signal to your brain that it is time to slow down and regain control. This small act creates just enough space between the emotion and the reaction, allowing you to think more clearly before responding. Another way to maintain emotional control is to step away from the situation if possible. Not every challenge requires an immediate response. Sometimes the best thing to do is walk away for a moment, gather your thoughts, and return with a fresh perspective. Giving yourself time to process emotions can prevent unnecessary arguments, can reduce stress, and lead to more thoughtful decisions. It is not about avoiding the issue, but rather about ensuring that your response is one that aligns with wisdom and not just temporary emotion. Prayer and meditation are also powerful tools in maintaining emotional control. When emotions feel overwhelming, turning to God for guidance and peace can bring a sense of calm in the midst of chaos. Philippians 4:6-7 reminds us not to be anxious about anything, but to present our requests to God. And in return, his peace will guard our hearts and minds. Instead of allowing emotions to dictate our actions, surrendering them to God can help us find clarity and strength to respond in a way that honors him. Words also play a significant role in emotional control. When emotions are high, it is easy to let words slip out that we don't truly mean. But once spoken, words cannot be taken back. Proverbs 18:21 reminds us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. The words we speak can either bring healing or harm, peace or conflict. Choosing words carefully, even in difficult situations, can prevent regret and preserve relationships. A calm and measured response is far more effective than an angry outburst. Another key to controlling emotions is recognizing emotional triggers. Everyone has certain situations, words, or behaviors that tend to provoke strong reactions. Understanding what triggers emotional responses allows us to prepare and respond differently. Instead of being caught off guard, we can remind ourselves to stay calm, practice patience, and handle the situation with wisdom. Self-awareness is a powerful tool in emotional control because it allows us to take responsibility for our reactions rather than blaming others. It is also important to remember that emotions are temporary. In the moment, frustration and anger can feel overwhelming, but they always pass. Reminding yourself that this feeling is only temporary can help prevent rash decisions. Instead of letting emotions dictate actions, choosing to wait and respond with a clear mind ensures that the response is one that leads to a positive outcome. Finally, maintaining emotional control does not mean suppressing feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging emotions, understanding them, and choosing to express them in a way that is productive rather than destructive. It is about responding with wisdom, patience, and self-discipline rather than reacting out of impulse. Keeping your cool in difficult situations is not about denying emotions, but about mastering them so that they work for you rather than against you. When we learn to control our emotions, we gain the ability to handle challenges with grace, protect our peace, and navigate life with a sense of confidence and clarity. One of the biggest challenges in difficult situations is how we communicate. When tensions rise, emotions run high, and misunderstandings can easily escalate. In these moments, the words we choose and the way we deliver them can either calm the storm or make it worse. Constructive communication is not just about getting a point across. It is about ensuring that what is said leads to a solution rather than further conflict. Keeping your cool means learning to communicate in a way that is clear, respectful, and focused on resolution rather than reaction. A crucial part of constructive communication is listening. Often, when we are upset or frustrated, we focus more on what we want to say rather than truly hearing what the other person is saying. But listening is just as important as speaking, if not more. When we actively listen, we show the other person that we respect their perspective, even if we do not agree with them. This simple act of attentiveness can reduce tension and open the door to a more productive conversation. People are more likely to respond positively when they feel heard and understood. Choosing the right words also makes a significant difference. When emotions are involved, it is easy to say something harsh or accusatory, which can quickly turn a discussion into an argument. Instead of saying, "You always do this," or "You never listen," which can put the other person on the defensive, it helps to focus on I statements. For example, saying, "I feel frustrated when this happens," expresses how you feel without blaming the other person. This approach encourages discussion rather than conflict and allows space for a resolution instead of further disagreement. Tone and body language play a major role in how messages are received. Sometimes it is not what we say, but how we say it that determines the outcome of a conversation. A calm and steady tone, open body language, and maintaining eye contact show that we are engaged and willing to work towards a solution. On the other hand, a raised voice, crossed arms, or an impatient expression can send the message that we are unwilling to listen or compromise, even if that is not our intention. Being mindful of these nonverbal cues helps ensure that our words align with our desire to communicate constructively. Another important aspect of constructive communication is knowing when to pause. Not every situation requires an immediate response. When emotions are high, taking a moment to breathe and gather thoughts can prevent saying something that might be regretted later. A short pause before responding can make the difference between a reaction fueled by frustration and a response guided by wisdom. Walking away to clear the mind and returning with a calmer perspective can be more productive than engaging in a heated exchange. Respect is at the heart of every effective conversation, especially in difficult situations. Even when we disagree, treating others with dignity and kindness allows for a more meaningful and productive discussion. Proverbs 15:01 reminds us that a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. This principle applies to every interaction, whether it is with family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers. A gentle and respectful approach can disarm conflict and lead to a resolution faster than aggressive or defensive words ever could. Focusing on solutions rather than problems is another key to constructive communication. It is easy to dwell on what went wrong, who is at fault, or why the situation is frustrating, but none of that leads to progress. Instead of getting stuck in the problem, shifting the conversation toward finding a solution helps move things forward. Asking questions like, "What can we do to fix this?" or "How can we prevent this from happening again?" encourages collaboration. rather than division. A solution-focused mindset brings clarity and helps turn a challenging situation into an opportunity for growth and improvement. Forgiveness also plays a role in communication, especially in conflicts. Holding on to resentment or insisting on being right can prolong disagreements and create unnecessary tension. Choosing to forgive and let go of past mistakes allows for open and honest discussions without the weight of previous conflicts. It does not mean ignoring issues or accepting harmful behavior, but rather approaching each conversation with a fresh perspective and a willingness to move forward. In every difficult situation, the way we communicate determines whether we add fuel to the fire or bring peace to the moment. Words have the power to build or break, to heal or hurt. By listening actively, choosing words wisely, being mindful of tone and body language, and focusing on solutions, we can navigate even the most challenging conversations with wisdom and grace. When communication is constructive, misunderstandings can be resolved, relationships can be strengthened, and conflicts can turn into opportunities for deeper understanding and connection. Difficult situations can often leave us feeling exhausted, frustrated, and uncertain. No matter how much we try to stay calm, control our emotions, or communicate wisely, there are times when our strength alone is not enough. In these moments, it is important to remember that we do not have to rely solely on our own ability to handle the situation. There is a greater source of strength available to us, one that is unwavering, limitless, and always present. Relying on God's strength rather than just our own allows us to navigate life's challenges with confidence, peace, and perseverance. When we face trials, it is easy to become overwhelmed by fear or doubt. Thoughts begin to spiral.